Hello, one and all, and welcome to round 4 of the TTML Division 5 Championship for Season 2. We're here today at Azerbaijan Baku City Circuit ahead of the 4th round of the championship. Just for future reference, I know that you guys aren't exactly used to me bringing this in, but unfortunately James had some streaming issues, so I had to take over for this. Of course, James is still here for tonight. So James, hello there, how are you doing?
I'm doing really well, Dan, and yeah, it's a bit of an interesting scenario I think that we're both in. Of course, Dan doesn't normally stream on the channel. I've had an error message on my end. It's one of those really daft error messages that come up. Cannot fix it in time, so Dan has luckily been able to sign in, and we're all fine on our end, which is good to see. And we've got action out on track already at the Baku Street Circuit, of course, here in the capital of Azerbaijan. And did you know it hosted the Eurovision Song Contest in 2012 as my graphics glitch out completely to the left-hand side?
Yeah, I think I was having a similar sort of issue there as well. So, yeah, let's get this underway. Of course, Baku, there was a bit of issues with the stream, of course, so we don't have much time to exactly introduce this. So we're just going to get right into the action here today. So, gearing up now for the first lap you'll see around this track. We're going to watch NSR Steer Rambo see how he gets on then. Over the line to start things then, heading on to those brakes. In turn 1, taking in second gear, third gear, sorry, up in the fourth and running out on the exit. Now, braking again in turn 2, it's all 90-degree corners to kick off this lap. Through the left-hander and away yet again. Picking up the throttle, opening that DRS. You're now powering down, up into top gear now, heading down to turn 3 again. You hit the brakes, a very stop-start of the circuit, and you open it up and then into the next corner, turn 4 there, the right-hander. Oh, comes sticking fast at you. And now into the second sector there at turns 5 and 6. Try and open up and not take as much of the curb as you can there. Get onto that exit. Now you're heading in to turn 7. Much tighter than you think it is there. You've got to be careful not to run out into the wall. And then you're heading into the fearsome uphill castle section. Turns 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. They all come flying at you. And Steam Rambo, you can see, was just about able to navigate that and keep it on the island. Then you're rounding through there. A little kick of 13, second left hand kick of 14, and then you're onto the brakes again into probably the most difficult corner on the entire track, turn 15, getting very close to the wall, fearsomely close, and now you're braking again into the final significant corner on the lap, turn 16, plant the power rod exit, and then you're heading down in the AlphaTauri to these kinks to end the lap there. There's no trouble navigating them in the Formula 1 cars. There's enough downforce to keep you on the road without even lifting off the throttle. Then you get up to absurdly high speeds down this long straight there. You open the DRS, power to the lane, and you get up to the highest speeds you'll see on the track there. Steam Rambo comes through 139.7 is going to open up the session, and Tornheim, his teammate, goes in behind a 140 flat. We'll see how the rest of the times come in there. At the moment, Steam Rambo onto the board. We'll see if he tops 0 goes fastest there, just a 10 faster. It's very, very tight at the top, and we'll see how the rest of the drivers now fare as we're seeing the first times come in at the start of this session.
Yeah, quite a few invalidations actually, just flicking through the grid. Zero obviously out on top of the 139.6, Steam Rambo second, 139.7. Only 4 tenths of a second separating the 3 guys that have got on a lap. Interestingly, Schmitsky, who I'm on board with now, is in the Williams, and he's on a set of medium compound of tyres. Now, we saw this last night in Division 2 as well. If you did tune into that stream, then well done for tuning in the first place. Schmitsky on a set of mediums now, running up toward the line, and if you did tune into that stream, you saw quite a few drivers go on that set of mediums and then go on to a set of softs towards the end of the session. Schmitsky across the line, 41.9, and he's about 1.7 seconds off. Oh, and it nearly didn't make turn 1 there. He hit the wall.
Oh my, yeah, Schmitsky able to complete that lap, but again, major front wing damage is going to have to get that in, and that is certainly one thing you've got to be looking out for around Baku, is getting front wing damage. It is such a difficult technical track for you to try and navigate. I think there was Bart going there into 5th place, and now Invictus just going in front of him into 5th, replacing him, but not particularly fast. We've seen Invictus has had superb form over the last few rounds, and has really challenged that. I don't know what you're seeing down there, but I'm seeing yellows out there on the track.
Yeah, there's yellows there out on the track, and yeah, PSN's making me to be an absolute mug now because I can now sign in.
Oh, oh well. Oh my.
Terrible.
We're keeping this one going then?
Yeah, we'll keep this one going.
Okay. Yeah, I'm terribly sorry, of course, for all the inconvenience. It's just PSN. Sometimes it just plays up on us, but yeah, that's rather disappointing to go through. But the show will go on regardless. And what I'm seeing is that, well, for a brief instance, there were more points on the track under yellow flag conditions than green and Silas now out.
Ooh.
And I'm struggling to see where that is there. Silas wasn't in the pit lane. Yeah, it's going through the castle section. I'm trying to find a car that's going through that there. I'm now watching NSR Storm. We can see the circumstances of that. And just completely stacked in the wall there at turn 8. Heavy crash. And it's so easy to do there. It's such a tight part of the circuit. And you can get, that could really catch you out there. Silas out of the way, and now of course we'll be able to get to the back of the grid. Not at all what Silas was after. We'll see if he can try and recover later on, but yeah, for Silas, really gonna have to try and recover. And what are you seeing, James?
Storm on a lap has just lost his right side end plate coming out of turn 15, hopped over the curb too much, and he's lost his right side end plate damage as well. But what we'll do, because we haven't done it so far, we started a little bit early as well here in qualifying. I can run you through the championship standings. That's something that we can run you through. Mays on top on 65 points and Victorson second on 57. Jibby Storm and Jabbery's tied for third on 52 points. Looks like Storm is completing this lap actually. 144.1. He goes down to the backs currently of those guys that have set times. Down in 10th position. Schmidtsky in 5th on 35 points along with Sapney King. Passels and Steen Rambo are tied for 7th on 31. Salas in 9th on 29 and Nellis in 10th on 27. Zero on 11th on 23, Freak Ronkin 12th on 22, Jeffrey in 13th on 16, so the Blessed in 14th on 15, Storm in 15th on 11, Buck City in 16th on 10, Bart in 17th on 9, Hulkenberg and Macca tied in 18th on 8, and Tornheim in 20th on 6. And I can now breathe as a result of that. Constructor standings as well. Quite close up at the top of the constructors. No constructor so far has scored over 100 points. A Storm has actually parked it off track and stopped because I think this driver is just coming through to the left hand side of him. Tovenheim and the likes just coming through on an out lap. Racing Point lead on 81 points. Mercedes second on 75. McLaren and Williams tied for third on 57 points. The rest of the run down, of course, Red Bull on 5th on 39. AlphaTauri 6th on 37. Renault in 7th on 31, then Ferrari in 8th on 27, Haas in 9th on 23, Alfa Romeo in 10th on 11 points. And that was a run down as Jeffrey has just lost his front wing.
Ooh, Jeffrey, I'm just going to try and pick him up. You can see there on the Red Bull. Again to that castle section. That has already caught out a number of drivers there, and it's caught out Jeffrey. Of course, Jeffrey had probably had his best race of the season last time out in Spain after his worst qualifying of the season. Had a fairly mistake-prone start to the championship, and of course has struggled and suffered throughout as a result. So we're seeing a lot of drivers, their laps either invalidated or they're getting damage along the way. It is very tough business out there at Baku City Circuit. There is just such a challenge and just such a task just to get around this track without chipping off your wing. And of course, at a 26th lap, 50% race in front of us, James, well, the race will be even bigger challenge for these drivers, and really, they're going to have to be in their A-game if they want to try and complete it without damage.
All I'm going to say is I'm going to sum it up in 4 words what you can expect tonight. Chaos, carnage, safety cars, VSCs. I'm aboard with Mays on a lap as well. He's on coming through turn 17, 18 and 19, and then through the kink at 20, and he's on a really good lap here. He's going to put it ahead of Rock City, I think, at this stage. It's about 10 seconds from that Rolex Spinner to the line, so Mays will be hoping to try and maybe sneak into the 138. It's a really quick lap for Mays now across the line, and he goes second just behind his teammate, a 10th and a half up. So championship leader goes second and behind his teammate, who is Rock City. And Rock City is out there on that lap as well. Just trying to see if there's anybody else on the lap. Sapney King is coming through the middle sector in the Ferrari. Of course, he's on a set of medium compounded tyres as well, and he's flinging the car too much. It looks really unstable on that setup, if I've got to be honest.
Yeah, of course, there's a bit of a trade-off round here because, of course, you can set up the car to be very aggressive, very slidey, but you've got to be careful. You've got to be cautious not to overdo it, or you could find yourself slipping and sliding around the track. Certainly, Sammy King, 1:17.6, doesn't seem particularly fast going through the second sector. We'll see if the Ferrari can pick it up, and of course, there's not really much room for improvement throughout this final sector. On the medium tyres, we'll see how they all fare. At the moment, we haven't seen any too... I would say ultra competitive laps on that medium compound. Expecting most drivers to opt for the softs by the end of the session. Sammy King comes through, goes into 10th place. They're just by Jensky. That's the second fastest lap we have seen on that medium compound. We're already, this quality session's flown by. We're now less than 7 minutes left to go, so we're getting into the business end of it now, and we can prepare for it. So far, Mercedes hold that provisional front row. I don't think we've seen really the best out of many of the drivers, though. I was expecting some guys to get into the 38s, certainly. So we'll see, of course, Rock City on top, but I suspect that will not stand. I think you'll be seeing a lot more swapping and changing, and I think there's a lot more potential in most of the drivers. So keep an eye out. I think we'll be seeing lap times a lot quicker than what we've seen so far in these final 6 minutes here in qualifying.
Yeah, Torenheim 39.4 improved. Jack Rousson on board with goes 640 flat. Up into 6th position in that Renault, and he's only 3/10 off Stian Rambo. I think he can find a bit of improvement on that lap. Invictus, however, is responding. First sector, he was 6/10 up. Second sector, he's 1.2 seconds up. So Invictus is absolutely flying here out on track. He needs to gain through these final couple of corners a really good run through 18, 19, and then 20. Look how close he got to the wall coming through 19, and then again through 20, minutely close to the wall, saving every inch of ground that this track has to offer. And I've got to be honest, I think there's going to be a 38.9 from Invictus across the line. 39
close
flat.
enough.
You know what? I'll take that. I'll take that. 39 flat. He goes quickest out of everyone for now. Just trying to see Stian Rambo's 2/10 up through the middle sector.
Oh.
Just boring over. What have you seen, though?
Rock City's gone fastest there, 1:38.8. So about 10th and a half clear, and we saw him go fastest very early on in the session. He's showing some of that potential that he had stored then into the 1:38s there. The first driver we'd seen. Rock City looks on form tonight. We'll see if that holds up, though, throughout the remainder of this qualifying session. We still have about 5 minutes left to go here between ourselves and the conclusion of this session. So, is anyone on a flyer at the moment? Stian Rambo, let's have a look there. He goes up to third, just in front of me, just behind Invictus. A solid lap for NSR Stian Rambo, and yeah, he's looked relatively solid throughout the entire session. So pretty good lap for the AlphaTauri. We'll see if he holds on to that there. It's pretty close amongst the top 4 or 5, and I'm not sure what you're seeing, James. What do you have to report?
Really good car control from Nellis coming through the castle section, literally flicking it left, right, left, literally jabbing punches like Mike Tyson. He would be very proud of that, I'm sure. Nellis is on a really good lap here, I feel, coming down into the middle sector split. 15.5, he's there or thereabouts, 1.3 seconds up, so that would theoretically put him towards zero, towards Torenheim sort of area. Don't be surprised if he goes right between the two.
Yeah, we will see, of course. There's a gap, I think, between 0 and Jet Rose. He might slow into, but he's certainly looking at least a 39 here. So to the line, I am Nellis. He takes a little while to open his DRS. Now charges through and will cross there a 1:39.7. I think I was spot on there. I think I win that round of predictions. So Nellis goes into P7. It's always a competition between us two, James, in that regard. But yes, the Ferrari driver goes into 7th. Solid lap there. 7 drivers now inside the 1:39s. The rest we've not seen really hit their potential. I think there's a lot of drivers who just haven't been able to put the lap together. At a track like Baku, nailing that hot lap in qualifying can be so tricky. I think TTML just improved, went 11th. But around a track like Baku, where the walls are always looming, and you can lose an end plate, chip it off at any point throughout the lap, it's so easy to make a mistake, and the room for error is so small that putting the best lap you can together is so remarkably difficult round here.
Yeah, Freak Bronco was just on board with, did improve by 2 seconds on a lap of 1:40.2. That was from a set of mediums to a set of soft compound of tyres, but he is one of those guys out on track who's just completed a lap and has to get back out into the pit lane. He's got absolutely no chance of getting another lap time in. The time has gone for him, basically, to try and set another lap in, but it is so difficult, this track. I would have thought most of these guys would be improving lap upon lap out on track. The tire wear around the track is quite high, but the track evolution, I should say, is quite sparse, and it really comes to show that you need to get a lap in towards the end of qualifying, I think, to really set a good qualifying time. Rock City currently out on top by 0.2 of a second from Invictus in second, Stian Rambo in third. Don't be surprised, though, Torrenheim, I think he's on a lap there now. I think he's just started one, and I feel he's got a lot more time to give. 39.4 currently. I think he'll improve ahead of Rock City.
Let's see, that is a bold statement, but we'll see if it comes to fruition. We'll be keeping a close eye on OWR Tornheim throughout the remainder of this qualifying session there. I was watching Passels goes into 13th place to 141.6. These drivers are going to have to be decisive. They're going to have to get their laps in soon enough. Let's watch Tornheim though. It's a decent enough first sector. They're just up by about 400ths of a second. Runs a little bit wide, very close to the wall. Coming out of turn 6, just about holds it together. Now you're breaking in at turn 7. Looks pretty late on the brakes, looks pretty good there. Straight up, there's the AlphaTauri now. Powers in to the castle section there. Looks rather conservative on entry. Do not want to be chipping an end plate going through here then. Power out turn 12. Decent traction on the way out. Let's see how Tornheim works out. He is flirting with some of these walls, I have to say there. Really trying to maximise the track width. We've got just over a minute left to go. These drivers are going to have to start their flying laps and quickly if they want to see out this session. Rock City holds pole. We'll see if it stays that way. Coming through the second sector. Tornheim 2 up. Might not be enough to get pole though. We'll see if he can move up though, at least past Maze. So here comes Tornheim then. It's got to try and maximise all of these kicks. Run right up to the walls. There are DMLs there at the session in the pit lane. So he will not have a chance of sending another lap there. We'll start at 12th and no higher. So OWR, Tornheim, DRS over there. Jeffrey's out the session as well. So that's going to hold him back. Tornheim goes third. Not far off, but does have to settle for the second row. Ooh. And both he and his teammates, Stian Rambo, going well. What is there to report, James?
0.3 up first sector. Into the castle section he comes. And really attacking through there again. He flings it left, right, left, right, left. And then once again through turn 12. He's really on a good lap here, I think. And he's still conserved a majority of his ERS as well. So I wonder if he's actually been saving up ERS for this long straight.
Let's see if that's going to work out though, because you don't want... Oh, it hits the wall coming in turn 15 and that's damage. Now, it's not going to be too severe, I don't think, in terms of the lap time. He's 4/10 up. He's had a superb one so far. Now, is he going to be able to get through all these kinks without lifting off? The time has expired. No more lap times. No more laps to be started. He does keep it flat out going through turn 19. That is very, very important. So now you can try and keep that momentum all the way to the line. DRS now is going to be open then. Over 330 k's an hour then. The Red Bull comes through to the line and goes its 5th. Lost a bit of time in that third sector, so the wing damage really cost 0 there at the death. So let's have a look there, see more lap times. Maze is 3/10 up, heading through that middle sector. Can he find more in the last there? It's just shy of 0. Might be able to get up onto that front row. We'll see where he goes there. Invictus is, I think, the time to look out for. Ooh. He does, Tom Invictus, and not far off his teammate Rock City. Rock City is still out there though, so we'll see what lap times are going to come in there. Shemetsky's bailed out there, goes into the pit lane to see out the session. I think we have Hilgeberg now, who's also going to come in and validate. That was a long way up as well. Invictus down on a lap, you say. Yes, he is, and I don't think there's much time for him to really improve on that. Sammy King, I think, is just headed for the line there. A second up, but invalid. Would have moved him up into, I think, P12. Not much you could have really gained from that. So let's have a look and see any more lap times. Can Invictus possibly get himself up onto pole position? It's not going to be enough. He just misses out. Stian Rambo is up by a huge amount. Could this be onto pole? It is onto pole. Rock City though, and Rock City's 2/10 down, a quarter of a second down, going to the middle sector. Has that cost him? Has Stian Rambo stole this? Yes, he has. Oh my word! In his star, Stian Rambo at the death by about 300ths of a second. Clutches pole possession right there in the AlphaTauri. Denies the Mercedes at the death. Game on for the race there. Rock City has to settle for second. Stian Rambo on pole. What a thrilling conclusion to quality there.
Really good thrill to really good ending to qualifying, and Stian Rambo 300th of a second ahead. Rock City second, Maze in third, Invictus in fourth, Torenheim in fifth. The top five are only separated by 0.3 of a second. Really close indeed. 0 and 6, Nella 7th, Jack Roos 8th, Barton 9th, Gronk in 10th, Schmidtsky, De Miles, Passel, Sapri King, Hulkenberg, Storm, Serve the Blessed, Jibby Storm, who left the lobby quite a few times, Salas and Jeffrey not getting lap times in either, but this is now going to be the time and the place where these guys have now got to put it all on the line. And remember the 4 words that I said? Well, it was more than 4 words. But remember the 4 points that I said. Chaos, carnage, safety cars, VSCs. Expect the unexpected.
Yeah, I think that is the phrase I think to be used for any Baku races in the virtual world or on the real world in any division. It is going to be hectic. We'll see, of course, if these drivers can just about keep it clean. I do have to mention that driving standards throughout this season have been a bit questionable at times from some. It's been decent in general, but there has been times where it has been a letdown. I hope that's not the case tonight, because around a track like Baku, you can't be affording to go along with that. We will see. Of course, and having such just a very close top 5 in qualifying, if that kind of pace transforms into the race, because it kind of carries over, and we see these guys not making mistakes, we could have an incredibly thrilling battle out there at the top of qualifying. You had a margin for pole position between our top 2 of 36 thousandths of a second. Can't even represent that if you blink an eye. So it should be very, very tight, and I'm looking forward to seeing if Stian Rambo can fend off those Mercedes. And you have, of course, the likes of Maze and Victus, championship contenders up there at the front as well. It should be fascinating. Let's see how it gets going there. The Baku Grand Prix, the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, about to get underway there. 26 laps ahead of us, and we will see who's going to come out on top here tonight.
Oh. Jack Roos has missed turn 1 already. He's run into the wall coming through turn 1. Saw a car run wide. I thought it was a Ferrari that ran wide, but luckily Jack Roos has got that back underway. Looking at the strategies, though, that everyone is on, Day Miles is a big noticeable exposure, I think, on that set of soft compounded tyres, because he is the exception rather than the rule. He is going for a 2-stop strategy, possibly. Onto a set of softs, possibly onto a set of hards. He could make 20 laps if he so requires it. But I think, more importantly, the 2-stop might be the way to go. We might even get 3, 4, 5 stops. Who knows what's going to happen here in Baku. But Day Miles on that strategy. Schmidtsky, Satmi, King, Hulkenberg are all on a set of medium compounded tyres as well. Now, those mediums will begin to last for around lap 12, lap 13, and then they'll start to die off just before the halfway stage. On a set of hards, Passel, Storm, Serve the Blessed, Jippy Storm, Salas and Jeffrey. I believe we've only got 19 drivers on the grid because Jippy Storm Day Icon is out on track, but he's not here within the lobby. We're down to 19 essentially out on track, and that means for all of these guys that are human cars, points are on offer.
Certainly, I think Jerry Storm. I was watching the stream chat, and yeah, I think his Wi-Fi is down, unfortunately. So yeah, very sorry for Jimmy Storm, who has actually really starred in some of the races this season as well. So we'll not have a chance to impress tonight. Or maybe his AI car will work miracles, we will see. Stian Rambo guides them round. Since I'm the one streaming this time, I'm going to turn the tables on you. James, who's your top 3?
My top 3, Jimmy Storm, by the way, just to point out, 3rd in the standings, so he's really missing out here tonight. It's going to cost him big time. My top 3, though, I'm going to go Invictus for the win, Maze for 2nd, and for 3rd, I'm going to go a little bit of a wild card, Jeffrey in 20th position. Okay, going for some of the big hitters there. Of course, Jeffrey just last on the grid, but if he stays out of trouble, we will see how that all unfolds. We haven't fully arranged this there. Who's taking that start there? Me or you, James? You can take it. Go on.
Okay then, let's get this one started. So, we're now just about lining up then the racing points. Of course, unfortunately, Jimmy Storm not here, as well as Jeffrey. They now head up the back of the grid. We'll see if they can try and make progress early on in this Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Stian Rambo and Rock City, that is your front row. We'll see which one of them is going to be heading the way. Going into turn 1 there, it's a short run, so the start not completely crucial, but you do want to be maintaining possession. There is no doubt about that. I think, is that Jimmy Storm's car maybe causing some issues there? That's why we're still sat here?
Yes, possibly.
Yeah, I'm not sure, because I did see it. I swear I saw him left the lobby. Usually that just sorts itself out we'll see. I'm not sure if he is in the lobby or not. Yeah, doesn't have control of his car. He might have tried and joined in later. Hasn't been able to, and that's just held us back a bit. But brace yourselves, we may well be looking at a potential restart here. Yeah, so we just kind of sat here in a bit of a stalemate at this point there. We'll see what happens to the field at the moment. But yeah, as Jimmy Storm's AI car still sitting there, I have seen this issue several times just in the last few weeks. It's a rather bizarre one, but yeah, there's a good chance that we may not be get going anywhere soon. Hopefully that's not the case, but it's not looking good.
Yeah, I'm above Rock City, and normally you see in Formula 1, the point towards the left-hand side or to the right-hand side, these cars are dead level, they're dead straight, so they're focused on that run down towards turn 1. And as you say, it's only a really short run down towards turn 1. But I think if we get this race underway, Rock City would have a great launch because he's on the cleaner side of the grid. All the dirty marbles are on the outside of the grid, and Rock City, I think, might just get that better start over Stee and Rambo, possibly. But who knows? I mean, it looks quite foggy, to be honest. It looks quite overcast. Obviously, the sun's reflecting off, and it's still dry. But hopefully, we'll get this race underway sooner rather than later. If Jibby Storm is in the lobby, leave, and we might be able to get this one underway.
Yeah, I'm just trying to just scan to see any sort of updates going on there. We'll keep you posted on that. I do very much apologise for what we're seeing. It's just the nature of Codemasters, just as well as PSN. They've caused us quite a number of issues here tonight, so we're just gonna have to get this underway. I suppose it is a bit of pressure on us then, James. We've got to try and find things to talk about. But the strategies outside the top 10 are going to be interesting. Especially, I'm surprised we didn't see more drivers actually opt for the medium strategy. The hard's actually by far the most popular called in. So we'll see what Chemetsky, Satmy King, and Hulkenberg are able to do. And see if they can charge through, because the medium's probably going to be the best starting tyre. The softs aren't particularly good. You can still make a one-stop work on the softs, as I'm not sure what's come to your attention there, James.
Dave Miles getting a strategy from a set of hard compounded tyres to a set of soft compounded tyres.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the lobby's going to get reset. Yeah.